So originally we wanted to have this as a play on word on an asteroid, so a comet,
Hmm.
or the plural thing, comets, and maybe Cometh, something. In the end, it's however you want to pronounce it. You feel good pronouncing it. If it's Cometh your way, let's keep it Cometh your way. If it comets, that's fine as well.
Cool. I guess I naturally am inclined to go Cometh. So
Cool.
what can you tell us about Cometh?
So let's let's start with the beginning. So uh, you have some NFTs, you have some stuff on your wallets, whether it is ERC20, ERC71, ERC1155, any type of tokens that you have on your wallet. Comets or Cometh is a game where you can showcase those tokens. So it's a game where you control a spaceship that's usually an NFT, and with this spaceship you can equip items in your inventory of the spaceship, and you play around. Literally, you play around because in the Comet galaxy, you are orbiting around the giant sun, maybe around the yeah, you're orbiting around the giant sun, and your goal is to position yourself in space by interacting with other players. Like I'm connecting to you, and I'm trying to change my position, so you are pulling me over, or some of the people are trying to interact with me and they want to get close to me, so I'm pulling them over. And the goal of the game is to position yourself at the right time, the right spot in space when an asteroid is passing by. And if you are at the right time at the right spot, you are mining this asteroid. And when you're mining this asteroid, you are getting out of this asteroid tokens that are loaded in this asteroid. So Cometh is usually presented as a play-to-earn game, where you consider the tokens that you are about to gain from mining the asteroid as the earn part of it, and positioning yourself in space, the play part of it. So that's the version of the game that's live now, and we are evolving the game to pretty soon have a V2 online, where there will be more of an MMORPG aspect of it, and going way more mainstream than what we have right now, where uh, we are trying to expose things from more of a crypto game, where you need to connect with your MetaMask, you need to do XYZ, you need to sign transaction over Polygon, and so on and so forth. Also, we're going from here to something that's much more close to what you may have experienced if you had just downloaded an app on your App Store or on iOS or Android.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Obviously, we'd be aiming for the same thing. But that sounds really interesting and right up my alley. Actually, I've always loved space games. So is there an exploration component to that?
Yes, that's typically what we want to do in the short run in terms of player experience. So we are slowly unveiling what the V2 will look like. We have a code name for it called the Cometh Beyond, Cometh Beyond, and we are switching to an exploration themed game at the moment. Where as a player you have much more things to do than you are at the moment. Because right now, if you were to log in into Cometh, you'll see that you have a asteroid passing by every 2 or 3 hours or so. So every 2 or 3 hours, you have a peak of activity where everybody is positioning themselves on a certain trajectory. So the next version of the game will be much more active. Everything happening at every place at the same time. And for the most fierce player, they will have to connect with each other, be collaborate with each other in order to explore further places in the universe. And we have an automated generation of new systems where anytime we reach a certain level of activity, or anytime we reach a certain level of exploration, those new systems are opened with new things to mine, with new asteroids, with new resources, with new things to craft. And we want the game to to grow by itself with the activity of the players and the thing the players are doing. So yeah, definitely. And one way to see it is consider what EVE Online has been doing, for those of you that know about EVE Online, and consider a blockchainized EVE Online with 2D graphics, because we think it's much better for the usability and the ease of access to have a 2D games where it's easy to load it and easy to play it.
Yeah, so I guess if when expanding your user base like that, which is the natural goal of any game, uh, building with the ETH network, obviously people would have questions about gas fees. So you mentioned that you built on Polygon. Can you maybe explain a bit more in detail how that reduces gas fees for the average person that wants to play a game, has heard about ETH and gas fees and sort of freaks out and thinks, well, is that going to cost me $1,000 per game? How have you guys tackled that with Polygon?
Sure. And just a question for me, like, are your players, are the lock game players familiar with things like Polygon, or is it something completely new for you?
Well, it's a mixed audience. So I think in general, if we talk to speak towards the newcomers coming into crypto gaming, because it is a bit of a dangerous territory for new people. So I think if we communicate on the level that they understand, then everyone understands.
All right. So from a very theoretical point of view, everything that matters is the block space as a commodity. So when you are using blockchain and you want to create a transaction and have this transaction included into the ledger that the blockchain is, you need to pay for block space. So a blockchain is updating itself every new block. So every 10 minutes for Bitcoin, every 14 seconds for Ethereum, every 4 or 5 seconds for Polygon. So different blockchains have different speed at which they update themselves. And the demand for access to this block space create a transaction fee. So on Ethereum right now, it costs you maybe $10 to $20 if you want to transfer a token to your friends, or if you want to transfer a token to your service provider. And the reason why you're paying this $10 to $20 is because there's lots of demand on the block space. So sidechains or scalability solutions like Polygon and Avalanche and Near Protocol and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of solutions out there. They have a different model, so they do the transaction faster because they have more blocks happening at the same time, or they have more space in the block. So they have different model where they expose this block space differently. And it creates a situation where you are paying less to get your transaction included. So with Cometh, we were pretty early on in this situation where we were creating a game, exposing a game to lots of players, and we wanted to find the right infrastructure, the right blockchain for those transactions to happen. So initially we picked Polygon because back in February, March, it was the most mature solution to have things happening on the blockchain and still have access to the block space of this blockchain being pretty cheap. And now we are looking forward to have new way of exposing those block space to our users. So we are continuously looking at infrastructure where we can deploy the game contracts and give access to our players to those infrastructures, so they don't have to really pay a lot of fees to access. So typically when you're playing Cometh and you are doing transaction to activate the game engine, so the game engine is based on smart contracts, so everything is executed in the blockchain. Typically when you activate the game engine, you are paying 2 or 3 cents of a dollar in order to have your transaction and have your position in the game or your state in the game change. And for us, it's a permanent research for new access, for new infrastructure, so we can push this cost down. And we are exploring solutions that will let us push this cost down to a sense of a cent, or much less eventually, so that we can continue to keep the game super cheap. And from a business perspective and a fun perspective, it's important also because we want to make sure that the players are not overspending on those fees that goes to the infrastructure maintainers, so the miners or the stakers or the validators in different networks, and the game is kept accessible. So we went on with Polygon in February, and we are continuing to build on Polygon, and we hope to unveil a way of scaling on top of Polygon for Cometh in late March. There will be a conference called the LisCon, for Lisbon conference, where the whole team is going, and we are coming there to work on the scalability solution on top of Polygon, specifically for Cometh. And yeah.
That's a very comprehensive answer. Thank you for that. I think we can.
So I didn't know where I was going with the beginning of the answer. So
No, I think that's perfect.
I hope it was understandable.
Yes, I think you really hit the mark with that one. And actually, so Sif had a question there, and I think we'd all like to hear a bit more on this. So, can you share with us your Cometh Metaverse and how it will be able to interact with other project metaverses like Lockg? What are your thoughts on that?
Just so I get this right, like Metaverse is the universe made out of every user projects with their own NFT, right?
Yeah, so, well, I guess it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, and there's lots of different versions. There's the Zuckerberg version, but there's, of course, the crypto version, or versions. So I guess, yeah, when I think about it, I guess I look at it like what you're saying there, where you have these interoperable, like if you think about the Ready Player One movie, and you've got the VR world where you have, I can go here and I can order products from this store and it gets delivered to my house, and then I go in this VR world somewhere else and I buy something else. We have the potential to create that sort of a world with a paradigm that follows player ownership as opposed to corporate ownership, like we see in the current game industry, I guess. Yeah.
So there's many ways to it. I'll try to answer that question from an operational point of view, from a player experience point of view, and also from a creator point of view. So where to begin? Let's start from an operational point of view. When you look at blockchain as an infrastructure for game, you can look at types of games like the multiplayer online battle arenas, super popular type of games like MOBAs, such as Dota 2 or League of Legends, or in some way Fortnite, for example. You connect all of the players together by everybody is connecting to the same server, and the same server is handling all of those players connected at once. Well, blockchain changes the paradigm in a way that you could eventually connect thousands and millions of players together to the same smart contract, because they just have to register to a certain smart contract. I like the analogy of telling people, well, why would you use blockchain in the first place? Where if you have to share a message with someone, you are sending this someone an email, and this person is responding to an email, so your shared message loop is a Telegram group with the two of you, or eventually an email loop between the two of you. If you want to add an extra person in the loop, you may just add this person to the email addresses of the loop, and at some point you want to add more content to it. So maybe you're just attaching a file to the loop, and the person is opening the file, changing things, giving you back the thing. And when you get 5 to 7 person in the same loop, suddenly it becomes super hard track the changes in this loop. So perhaps you're going to create a shared file on Dropbox if you're on Windows, on Google Drive if you are on Google, or on SharePoint if you are on whatever. Like you create this file that you share, and having a server hosting this file and having everybody modifying this file together is working pretty well until you get 20 to 30 persons modifying the file at the same time. At this stage, blockchain became more powerful to do the file sharing. So blockchain comes with limitation in terms of speed of modification included in this file. Typically, you will have to wait for a couple of seconds, maybe 3 to 4 seconds, for a new block to appear on chains like Ethereum 2 or Polygon. So you cannot really have games that are real-time, like first-person shooters, for example, but you can definitely have games that are turn-based, like Cometh, or like Cometh, or like chess, and so on. So now you have this shared infrastructure for thousands and thousands and thousands of players, which is completely new from a game perspective. And with Cometh, we were able to connect 500 players together, or 700 players together, when we were hosting our first large-scale tournaments just to test the infrastructure, and that was kind of a switch from MOBAs, so multiplayer online battle arenas, to BOBAs, blockchain online battle arenas, where everybody is connecting together. Having this shared infrastructure for all the players is great for connecting them at a large scale when they want to play together. But it's also a major change in terms of interoperability with what they have on this infrastructure. So for those of you that are 30-something or 40-something that played PlayStation 1, when you were playing games like Metal Gear Solid.
I may have, and I may have.
Did you play this game?
I may have played Metal Gear Solid for 17 hours straight after hiring it from Blockbuster, because the storyline, for anyone that's played it, I think it's like you have an 18 hours to complete the task or whatever. In the storyline, I thought, well, to hell with it. I'm gonna play for 18 hours straight and see how long it takes to finish it. But sorry, carry on.
No, that's cool. Do you remember a boss called Psycho Mantis?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
I do. Yep.
Yeah. So if you were fighting against Psycho Mantis, and you had played other Konami game, so Konami was the publisher of Metal Gear Solid. If you add memory on your memory card, the hardware we used to save game states on in the PlayStation 1, if you have on your memory card other Konami games, Psycho Mantis will be a boss with a cutscene, and he will fly in the air, and he will talk to you, like breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to the player.
Oh yeah,
and like,
I remember
I see that you played this game. Yeah, and I had played a different Konami game while playing Metal Gear Solid, and I had this moment of revelation where Psycho Mantis was telling me, "I see you played this game. You must be this kind of player." I felt really involved in this. This is where the metaverse is taking us. Like you are playing a game that look at what you played before, with huge limitation, because you have to know where to look and have to know what to look for. But I can say, hey, dude, you've been playing this game. You must be this kind of player, and let me give you an immersive play experience. So the way we look at metaverse is looking at your Ethereum address as a way to connect, as a way to identify yourself on the blockchain, and as a way for any game or any application to change the experience you may have in the game based on what you've done before. And the blockchain is a record of everything you may have done with this specific address. So if you played log game as a player playing now Cometh, you should have a different experience playing Cometh because you played log game before. So let's say you have a log game NFTs on your wallet. you should be able to equip those NFT to get an aesthetic change or a characteristic change for your spaceship by equipping them. Like those NFTs should be interoperable with Cometh. If you have some log game token, ERC20 based token in your wallet, and you are interacting with Cometh, you should be able to
Sorry, there's some. Is that?
do different kinds of crafting using Cometh.
Sorry. Can I just? Can everyone make sure you got your microphones on mute, please?
Oh, all right.
Not you, of
Hey, Big
course.
D. All right. So the way we're looking at the metaverse is extending your game experience by having your blockchain wallet as the way to identify yourself, and based on the activity of this blockchain wallet, creating a different experience for a new player that's joining a new game. So it can take different form, like just being able to equip the loot that you have from different games inside the new games, but also looking at your um, your activity on different applications based on what you've done with your wallet to change the way the game is behaving with you or answering with you. And there is many things to explore with this because suddenly we fetch the activity of a person based on his wallet. Um, and at the same time, there's different thing we can showcase for this. So in the short run, we are mostly exploring with NFTs from other games having an impact on our game. But as time goes, we are looking at the activity of different wallets and trying to showcase things for those kind of players. Giving you just an example, when you are creating a new Ethereum transaction, you have something called the nonce. That's a counter marking how many transactions you've been doing. So when you are at transaction number n, you are clearing this transaction. When you are, the next transaction will be n plus 1. So that's typically something that change with the number of transactions you've been doing. And we can construct a different game experience based on this nonce. So maybe we can say that this quest is only accessible to addresses that have played 10,000, that have casted 10,000 transactions. So as a player, you have a natural way to reach this 10,000 transaction because you're just playing, and at some point you reach the 10,000 mark, and suddenly this quest is made available to you. If you are an all-time users of blockchain and you join Cometh, we will be looking at your nonce and be like, whoa, this guy is already at 10,000, so let's make this this thing available. So we can use the metaverse many different ways, and in the end, it's always proxies from outside of the game that are interpretable that we can build on as game designer to give you a different experience. And for us, it's super exciting to just look at what other projects are doing, what other projects are building, and take the thing that they built from their games and how they engage with the players with their games, and giving them a different experience if they have been engaging a lot or engaging a few or engaging normally with those different players. And I'm super glad we get as game designers or our players to live in this brand new world of whatever we would be able to do of a crazy experience with blockchain.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because and great analogy with Metal Gear Solid, by the way, with reading your memory card and seeing what other games you played, and then so for those that don't know, I remember it quite vividly actually because they were also playing with the vibration in the controller itself, and
Yes.
he'd be standing there and he'd be like, watch my amazing psychic powers, and then he tells you to put the controller on the ground or something, and he makes it move, and it's just the PlayStation sending jolts of electricity down to the stuff like that. But yeah, it's a great example of identity, and how your identity, I guess, forks different gameplay options in that case. But ultimately, what we have here isn't so much like, oh, here's what we can do entirely. It's more like, here we have this new framework to operate with, and there's a whole range of different paradigms we can work into this. So I think it's more like, instead of if people are expecting like an answer of a comprehensive thing, like what can we do? Well, we've got some starting ideas on how we can make these sorts of partnerships work together, and those are great examples. But of course, being a new infrastructure, it will take time for people to test these ideas out and then come up with more innovation based on what they've learned previously. So there's a learning curve for everyone in this. But what I think is fundamental is just that paradigm shift to player ownership. That's something that is like
Yes.
true ownership. Having I had an account on World of Warcraft before you could buy gold and stuff like this. I had like 2 million gold or something like that. I felt like king of the world, but then uni demanded my attention, and what have I got for any of that? All the time and effort spent in it, all these rare drops that I collected. At best, I could go to some website and sell my account, which would mean I have to give them my email and password, stuff like this. It's dodgy. Whereas if all those things that I earned were NFTs, I could go into OpenSea and I could sell them, and people will want them. So this whole secondary market then comes into play. That I think should be facilitated by the projects themselves, and encouraged, because we want that decentralization of power. We want that distribution of wealth. So it's an exciting space to be in and see what people come up with, for sure. I just wanted to check as well with Cometh. Just for our guys here, do you guys have any sneak peeks that you might be able to share? I know it's sort of off the cuff. You might not have any ready, but do you have anything you can share, or even let us know what's coming around the corner?
Well, just a remark on what you just said about paradigm shift and in World of Warcraft, for example, as an
Mm.
example. Um, the, the player ownership of assets is a huge paradigm shift in the in the gaming industry. So right now we have switch of well, the business model of games have changed to something where you can actually deliver the game for free and let player that are already engaged, that are already making things, enjoy additional content because they are paying for a skin or paying for a DLC or paying for a season pass and so on. But mentioning World of Warcraft, I mean, I think this was the first real cryptocurrency. Selling gold inside World of Warcraft on eBay and something was the first large scale form of people holding your resources in a game and then reselling those. With some successes, but also with some bad thing happening because if you had those gold and you were selling them on eBay, you bear the risk of being banned by Blizzard, the publisher of the game. They were saying in their reviews, if we catch you, if we catch you selling in-game items to other players on this in a third-party website or in a third-party application, we will ban you from our games and remove those things from your inventory. So the blockchain is giving us an opportunity to break the wheel and reverse completely the situation. Like, yes, hold a thing in log games, hold things in Cometh, and just sell that to other players. Like this is the product of your work. You've been playing the game, enjoying the game, and you hoarded those items. You created those, you crafted those items. So please sell that to other players. Participate to the economy and the economy that blockchain allow us to build is also completely open to other applications to build on top. So sometimes for bad outcomes like creating bots to play the game instead of you, or creating marketplaces that snipe the items that are below a certain price. Uh, but in the end, it's creating an open market and an open situation for anyone to want to build on top of. So that's also a completely new paradigm for gaming. And, I think we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg there, and there's much more to it, and we are about to witness many things that will happen in the gaming space using those new capability of integration and interactions with other players. Now, in terms of sneak peeks and things that I can show you, um, the new version of the game is being unveiled as we speak. So we have a demo day uh, on the 13th of September with our community. And the game that we have at the moment will be just a, a way to showcase basic principle of the game. So some of the things that we have in the current game will be kept to the new game, but most of the things will be completely brand new because we want the new game to be accessible from a mobile. We want the new game to be accessible to non-blockchain people much more than it is right now. So I'm happy to share what the game looks like today, so you get a sneak peek of it. But bear in mind that a new white paper is coming out on the 4th of October, and a demo to our community is coming out on the 30th of October of September. Um, so you want me to share my screen right now?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, let's go. Uh, Okay, so let me put the things in motion, loading the spaceships. Okay, give me a second.
Not a problem. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way I could make sure that it, because my screen shows like everyone's window. I'm sure there'll be a way to change that.
Okay. Mm, okay, screen share. I want to share my entire screen. Yes. Do you?
Let me go watch stream.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have one of our community members that got banned.
Oh, sorry. It was just an impromptu thing because a community member said, "Oh, his game's streaming, and it's all we can see." So I was too busy talking to you to deal with it professionally. I just kicked him. Sorry.
Was he
I'll bring him
was
back
he
in.
insulting other players?
No. It was just because of the way that Discord was working. He was on there live streaming, and I think they were just seeing that.
Cool.
So but that's all right. We'll do that.
Just excuse Gonzag's French. Sometimes he's a very annoying French guy insulting people on the Ask Me Anything things. So maybe that's when you ban him. Um, yeah, well, are you seeing my screen right now?
Yes, that's coming up. So, yeah, red circle.
Yeah, it's clear.
Red circle. Okay. So here's one of the spaceship of Cometh. It's called a Chancelor, and it's a great ship for people that are not playing super well like me because it has a very large mining areas. So if you are not too close from a Cometh, you don't need to be super precise. The mining area of the Chancellor allow you to make some mistakes and to be far from the different Cometh. Here's a look at what the map look like on a solar system like Sol number 3. You see those different squares. All of those squares are actually players with different spaceships. So I'm here clicking on one of the players. You see here's a green and red jumper. Here's another player, a beautiful explorer with the original color. Let's look at this, guys. Here's a dragonfly. So you have all of those squares that are different spaceships, and those different squares have different colors when you look at them, because interacting with another player is going to cost you some tokens, and the amount of tokens that it costs you is being chosen by the player. So as a player, you decide how much you want to charge for other players to interact with you. So if I wanted to change position to another place in the universe, I will have to select one player and then select another. And every time I click on a player, I'm constructing my path forward in order to arrive at a new position. So the goal of the game is to look at those comets passing by. So you have this one that is, right now it's full. You have this one that is full as well. So there's not much thing to do on this specific area. But we can look at different areas and see where the activity is ongoing. And you can move your ship from one solar system to the other by going to those portals here. So zooming in, you see that the portal is moving forward. If you are in the area of activity of this portal, you can actually use this portal. Funny thing about the game and how it behaves is that every time there is a new block in the blockchain, it creates a new timestamp, and every second in the blockchain is a second in Cometh. So your every spaceship is moving with the state of the blockchain being moving itself. So let's select a spaceship from another area, just that we see more activity of different things. And looking at the map itself, you have different solar systems, so Sol 1, Sol 2, Sol 3, they are all connected together. The Galactic Academy 1 and 2 is a system reserved for certain spaceships. So one of the ones that I've selected, the Mule here, they can all be connected to the Galactic Stadium. So when we host an event, we can have every spaceships of the universe converge with the Galactic Stadium and go there. So let's have a look here. Oh, no, have a look there. Okay, cool. So in these specific solar systems, we have way more players. It's the beginner area. So I'm going to try to reach to this specific asteroid. So I'm this red dot. I'm seeing the asteroid there. And what I'm going to do is select this guy 2 times, select this guy a couple of times, trying to figure out how I can get closer to this comet. So maybe let's do this, and then do that, and then do this. So yeah, that could be a good move. And then you have to wait for the blockchain to actually deal with your transaction. So that's the randomness aspect of it. Oh, it went pretty fast. Okay, cool. Oh, damn it. Wait a second, I clicked badly. Okay. So here's the mining area of my spaceship, and here's the incoming comet. So, oh my god, I just missed it for oh, damn. So sometimes you are just getting super close to the comet, and then you miss it because it's just passing by too fast. Or I'm trying to reposition myself. Oh, will I get there? Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. So the comet should be passing by quickly. Here it is. You will see it on the screen for, yeah, just for a second. It was passing by super fast. Now I can mine this comet, and it was in my mining area for a second, so I was able to mine it. And when I'm mining it, I'm extracting the tokens out of this comet. So that's what I just did. Yeah, now we have to wait for the transaction to be included. So earlier in this conversation, you asked, well, what is what is Polygon, and what is how are you guys dealing with fees inside Polygon? And you are actually witnessing that live. In order to interact with this Cometh, I had to pay 1 cent of dollar interacting with the game. And I want about a cent's worth of tokens. So all in all, I'm cash positive or a little bit in profit. But that's something we are pursuing as game designers. Like, we want to push the interaction with the game to the lowest amount possible, keeping the blockchain, of course, but still pushing for low amount of fees paid by the players, so that you can actually extract different things out of the game. Fun, of course, resources, valuable stuff from inside the game. But as we push the price down, you get a better deal every time you are interacting with the game. And there's things coming up inside the game itself. So this view that you have for the regular things happening at a solar system level, the view that you see happening at the galaxy level. Well, first, the game exploration itself, the frontier of every solar system will be expandable, so that new solar system get deployed as time go, and new connections between solar system get deployed as time go. At the space view here, well, at the solar system view here, it's moving quite fast at the moment. So we want this movement to be much slower in the new version. And when you zoom in, you see there is, I don't know if you see it properly in this in my screen share, but there is squares that are in the background of the screen. So we want those squares to become tiles, hexagonal tiles, and as a player to be able to explore those tiles and find secrets and other resources in those tiles. So when there is not a huge comet passing by, you should be able to look at what's going on at the more micro level, interact with those, and instead of seeing dots or squares with your spaceship, see the full-fledged representation of a spaceship in your surrounding if you are close to it. And also introduce the inventory aspect of your spaceship, so you are able to equip NFTs from other games, equip NFTs from Cometh, change your game experience by equipping those NFTs and changing them from one situation to another. And coming back to the metagame aspect of it, creating quests and game experience that are based on those NFTs. So if you end up having the right NFT at the right moment, you should be able to have access to this specific quest, for example. That's typically the kind of thing that we're working on for the next version. And if you are close enough to a player in Cometh right now, you cannot really change this player. You cannot really interact with this player. So that's also something that we are changing in the very short run. We want the players to be able to challenge themselves and create fights with each other. So, for example, like you see this green dot that's quite close by from me. If I wanted, I could get close to this person. Like I could get very close to this person. In the new release of the game that we are working on in the short run, we want the players to be able to fight with each other when they are super close by, because people want to fight each other basically. So here's a sneak peek at what Cometh is and some explanation of what it will be in the short run.
That looks really good. How do I get started? Do I head over to Cometh website? And I mean, obviously that's still a sneak peek, but jump over to Cometh. How would I get started on that?
So right now the game has had about 10,000 players that have tried the game. It had unique players that have tried the games. It has about 200 to 800 players active on a daily manner, and about 2,000 active on the monthly manner. So where do you get started? Well, you can join our Discord and meet our players, learn about it. You can join our Telegram group and learn about what the players are doing. But in order to jump into space, jump into our galaxy, you need to get your hands on a spaceship to begin with. So we have a shop for those spaceships. The spaceships are not cheap. Warning you guys, it's not a cheap asset to get. But the reason why they are not cheap is because we try to keep them quite rare in terms of distribution. We usually target to have at least the ratio between spaceship and unique players to be around 1 out of 2. So if you have 10,000 players, we should have 4,000 or 5,000 spaceship in circulation. But when you have a spaceship, you can rent the spaceship if you don't like the game. You can borrow a spaceship for other players. So as a newcomer, you have access to pretty cheap spaceship, the mule that I was displaying inside the game, or you can also rent a spaceship from someone else and try to see if the game experience is good for you. And strictly from a player perspective, Cometh is at a pivotal point right now, where a new game is being built, a new game experience is being unveiled. So in order to get started, I will go to cometh.io and register to the mailing list and be informed in the weeks to come of new development and new release of the game, because the game experience itself is going to be completely different. If you're familiar with Street Fighter, the game, the Street Fighter 1 was a completely different game than Street Fighter 2. The real battle and the real uh,
Are you trying to hit me in the childhood?
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, Street Fighter was defining so many things in the fighting game style that the first attempt at Street Fighter was just a draft of what the fighting style could become. And we hope that you'll have the same effect with Cometh. We did a first blockchain game based on some primitives, based on some concept that we tested out at a large scale. And now we are switching to a completely different way of playing the game, much more deeply rooted into the blockchain and with much more content to consume as a player when you are interacting with this game, and a completely different experience as a player if you are trying this on. So it's a good time to grab a spaceship before there is none in circulation, and and to mingle with the existing player base and get feedback from them, and also learn from what we guys are doing as game developer. And we do a lot of collaborations, and I hope in the short run we can have something cool for the log game community to showcase in our game, being part of the log game community. That's typically how we build our initial player base. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. When my colleague Aurélien reached out to you and we started to organize this, I had a look at the different NFTs that you guys are exposing, and I think it's super funny, and I can definitely them fitting inside a spaceship from a player inventory perspective. So there will be things to do as a log game player inside Cometh for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to that, and likewise, once we have our game up and running, absolutely. But speaking of Discord, so I did create a channel, so I'm just going to share that in the chat there. So I just got a channel there for any Cometh guys. If you want to throw any images up or links or anything like that, we can chat all things Cometh in that channel for all our lock game guys. And you will find though, if you're new to our Discord server, there's well, I don't know if you noticed, but Black Yugen just leveled up from a lurker to a rookie. So you'd have to be a rookie, which means you got to chat for about 17 minutes before you can post pictures and stuff like that. But they can come into that channel, they can chat and catch up and everything like that. But anyone rookie and above, you'll be able to share any sneak peeks that you come across. Please feel more than welcome to.
So looking at the Ask Us.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Sorry. So looking at the channel, where the Ask Us Anything channel, I see questions from Crypto Brave. Where are we located? Most of the team is in Paris, France right now. I'm in London because I'm traveling to meet some business partners and other projects that we want to collaborate with in the short run. But coming back to Paris in a couple of days. We have team members in Bulgaria. We have team members in Serbia. We have team members in Japan. We have team members in the US. But the core of the team is based out of France and mostly Paris. The team size right now is about 7 engineers and developers, me included. And the team size with part-time people and people that are lightly involved but contributing to the game here and there is about 20 to 30 people at the moment. And most of the team members right now are engineers and developers, and we are upgrading our team roles to something that's more close to what you see in the game industry. So having full-time community members, full-time marketing people, full-time product managers, and so on. That's a switch we are making in our team to be closer to the classical breakdown that you see when you are looking at game members themselves. And trying to see if we got on every questions here. Is Cometh bring game as farming mining mechanism using NFT to users? I'm not getting your question completely, mitochondria. So if you want to write it down again, I may be able to take it better. But is Cometh bring game as farming mining mechanism using NFT to users?
So
not really getting where you are.
So I guess maybe like with our platform, we would have something like you buy a pack, you open it, you get a legendary elite, Satoshi card, and I can go stake that to earn Lockg, right? But you did describe something like that with, I think essentially with lending out your spaceships, yeah.
Yeah, we have a rental system. If you go to Cometh, sorry, let me drop the link in the description in the channel, so you have direct access to it. But as a spaceship owner, you are able to rent your spaceship to other players. So it's close to this NFT farming mining mechanism you described. You just let other player play your spaceship and enjoy the game for you, and give you some form of retribution for renting your spaceship. And as a matter of fact, Gonzag is a well-known people in the rental space. It's like one of the big rentals of the game. So if you put your spaceship on rental, probably Gonzag is going to negotiate with you a good rate for him, and try to use the spaceship at large scale.
Sorry, Gonzag. Sorry. I thought you're streaming something else. I thought you're someone else that jumped on the channel and just started streaming some random game, and Sif's like, "Oh my God, someone's doing this." Apologies.
Yeah. Yeah, you just ban the renters. Like, people should buy, not rent. Anyway.
So is that in itself an actual blockchain mechanism? Is that a DeFi farming mechanism behind that, or is that just like an in-house thing?
Everything is blockchain based. Like the whole rental system is blockchain based. So from a technical perspective, when you are renting your spaceship, you are moving your spaceship to a smart contract that will apply the rental logic that you've described, like how long, how much, for whom, and so on. And a player grabbing the rental proposal is going to be defined as the player for this rental contract. So the ownership of the NFT will stay on your wallet, but the NFT itself is moving from your wallet to the contract. And we will extend this principle to the game perks as the game evolves to have an inventory. So yeah, it's just a blockchain based leasing, let's say.
That's good.
Who's our backers and partners for our project? Right now, it's people from the industry. You can have a look. Let me share a link to the players the people that have been helping us out on building this game initially. Yeah. So check it out. You might have recognizable faces in this link. You have people from project like MakerDAO, from Aave, from Gnosis, and so on. And we are extending the support that we got from other projects, and we will announce something maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 3 weeks, about new supporters and new partners in our game. So if you register to Cometh.io and you participate to our mailing list, you can definitely expect to get stuff out of this, to get bonus out of this. Da, 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 da.
So they should jump on your mailing list.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm trying to see if I've forgotten any question. So you debound the good Gonzag. That's great. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I think we are good. We are good. Let me know if I've forgotten any of your questions.
No.
Just drop something in the Ask Us Anything section.
I think you're good, and yeah, if anyone else has any last minute questions, please throw them up now. But I did have one question because you really struck a nerve with the Metal Gear Solid. At the end of that game, did you go with the bandana, or I forget what the other one was, but the bandana gave you infinite ammo, and the other one gave you
Absolutely.
invisibility. Which one did you
go? Invisibility. So I like the sneaky aspect of Metal Gear Solid. So definitely got the invisibility cloak.
See, I thought I wanted the invisibility, but then I'm like, hang on, wouldn't it be easier to get that the second time through if I had unlimited ammo? Because that game was very, very hard. But I'd love to see, but even just that, going back to NFT interoperability, you achieve an accomplishment like that and you get that bandana, and let's say I'm a game developer, or let's say I have access to game developers, I may do, and I really, really like the fact that I met that achievement. So for no other purpose other than self-interest, I could have included in the game something along those lines where it's, if you earned this NFT, so you earned this bandana, well, your character, this lock game card has a bandana now. You know what I mean? So you can add these sorts of things to it, and you can collate your, I guess, emotional experiences in the one place if everyone's collaborating.
Yeah. That's right. I think that's the grand vision for Metaverse in a pitch. Like you just like, hey, well, you are having a whole of your game experience being recorded to your address, and every game developer is interpreting your game experience from your address and displaying something unique for you. That's one of the great things blockchain is giving to gaming, I think.
Definitely. Well, trying to be mindful of time here. So Crypto Brave had a question there with a list of how we should proceed. We won't list it out here, but we can reply in the actual channel if you don't mind doing that. Just after we disconnect from voice there, Jerome, just to help them get started. Oh, you already have. Look at you go. You're already on
And
it.
how will we partnership in the short term to mid term? Well, being able to display your log game NFTs inside Cometh is going to come whenever we release the battle system or the new version of the game. Right now we are aiming at a worst case scenario of January, but things are moving forward faster than we expected. So we'll talk about this in a couple of weeks in our own channels. So hopefully sooner than that, you'll be able to equip the log game NFTs inside Cometh. And then after this, well, we can collaborate differently, having collections of spaceships that are based out of log games, letting you craft things inside Cometh that log game created. We have lots of things we will be able to bring to the players of both communities, and exciting time ahead.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to it myself. Just we really do have to wrap up though, but it's been it has been an absolute pleasure chatting to you and getting the insights not only on Cometh but the NFT gaming space in general. Really looking forward to.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for the invitation. It was lovely getting to mingle with your community, and I'm really looking forward for your lunch, guys, and looking forward to play it as